Hi, I'm Jake Ibshin, and I'm joined today by Kevin Hauber. We are leaders of the Gold Mining Men's Circle, and today we're going to be discussing regret. Then I'll share a practice that I hope will help you when you're feeling regret. Let's start by just asking, what is regret? And to me, it's the experience of blaming myself. It could feel like anger or disappointment with how I showed up in the past. It can be for something I chose to do or chose not to do. And it's really easy to get caught up in regret. And I see it as a way to not deal with what is actually happening and a distraction around focusing on what we can actually control. So I want to pass it over to Kevin too to give some thoughts on regret and particularly how it might impact how we pursue our mission in the world and live a mission-based life.
Thanks, Jake. I think one of the most important things to consider around regret in doing this work is, does the regret show us what we don't want, so that we can focus then in turn on what we do want? And that, to me, is one of the most beautiful parts of it, of being able to take an experience that we might otherwise frame as negative and use it in a way that becomes a guidepost toward our purpose and toward our missions in life. And that's why I had asked Jake initially to work with me to bring this piece to the Gold Mining Circle, so that we could look at it from that angle in terms of how do we take what we could otherwise frame as negative experience in life and use it as fuel for our purpose and our mission. So thanks, Jake.
I think thinking about that, I also wonder why it is so seductive to get caught up in regret. I find myself getting caught up in regrets and past thinking. I witness other men in the circle getting caught up in what they could have done, what they should have done, where they should be. So I think I do feel curious too of what the temptation is around regret, why it's so alluring.
Well, it is certainly a shadow that's easy to get sucked into. And being able to see beyond that can be tough at times. And so that's one of the reasons why in the circle we have the support of each other to be able to help guide ourselves through that.
I think it's really important to have that support externally. The process I'm going to share is going to be a way to support yourself directly when you're feeling this, which I really wanted men to have this. After I led this in Circle a few weeks ago, I did get some requests to record this piece because I don't think this is a one and done deal, because it is, as we said, a shadow thing that can be recurring. It's shadowy for me. It recurs for me at different times and comes in waves. I'll start to focus on the past and what I should have done. And so I want to share this practice with the intention of helping people, whoever wants to try it, love themselves and accept their past self for whatever decision that it made. And I think that if we look at the deeper desires of that past self, why I made that decision, it's possible to create empathy and forgiveness for who I was at that moment. And so I think there's also a potential in this process to learn more fully from something like, quote unquote mistake, in a way that I don't beat myself up about it, but instead create some new emotional intelligence and self-awareness that'll help me in the future. So it's like, I don't want to just get, I think we start with empathy in this process and we get to understanding, and that's where we can learn from our mistakes. I don't think we can just do that through where I think I go and I've seen other men go is either going in spirals around it or like some self-flagellation, beating ourselves up around regret. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this practice now, unless you have anything to add, Kevin.
Thanks for bringing it, Jake.
All right, so let's get to a comfortable seat here. Just get ready to go inward. Start to drop in, feel your feet on the ground. Take some breaths. Connect to a moment in your past where you made a decision that you regret. It could be a minor decision or an important crossroads. Any moment where you feel challenged to accept or love your past self works. And in this step and every step of this process, I want to invite you to pause the video if you need to. Take your time with this. There's no rush. This is for you. So connect to that moment in the past you regret, and who you were then when you made that decision. And ask your past self what it wanted in that moment of decision. See if it can tell you in 1 or 2 words the core of what it wants. If necessary, take this part through the positive intent process. I'll link to the video for that practice. But basically, it'll take you through to the positive intent of what you wanted then, the core state of love, acceptance, peace, or safety. And again, take your time getting to that. Once you have identified the core state desired by your past self, see if you can connect to that state in your present self. Close your eyes if necessary and say the word representing that core state. Notice where it lives in your body and breathe into it. Repeat that word representing your core state as many times as necessary. Once you feel connected to that core state, invite your past self to join you in sourcing that experience internally. Visualize this younger version of you in the same space with you now, and invite them to take the same physical position with their body as you. Breathe together and deeply connect to your internal experience of receiving what you truly wanted. Take your time. Let yourself have what you truly wanted, whatever that core state was. When you're ready, ask your past self if it has anything to say. And listen to it until it is complete. When you're done listening and it's done speaking, speak as your present self. Tell your past self how you feel. Sharing whatever's coming up for you now. When both parts are complete, thank your present self and your past self for showing up to create more self-love and acceptance. Come back into this present time and space when you're ready, knowing you'll remember exactly what you need to from this journey. Thank you for taking this journey with me in this process. I hope it helped you. Please feel free to reach out to me or to Kevin if you need additional support with this work. I would invite you to join the Men's Circle if you haven't yet. Check out the links below. And thanks again for taking the time today.